Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. Happy Friday. So glad it's Friday. I'm back. It's Kylie, by the way, from Hello Crafter. If you don't know me, I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based near Leeds, and I have started these new Friday morning free online card classes so that I can show you some nice, hopefully quite simple cards that you can craft along with, either live or on replay. I think most people will be watching on replay, so if you're watching on replay, send a little comment and tell me that you're catching up. So this week we are working with Sweet Citrus. This is my stamp set of the week. I've been working with it all week and showing you lots of different projects. I did have one in mind to show you yesterday, but it all went a bit wrong, so that didn't happen. So but I feel like I need to kind of get my head around the ideas that I was having for the card that I wanted to make, and I'll come up with something this afternoon if I have time. So this card class is free to watch, free to join in. Please comment, please ask questions, feel free to make suggestions. I honestly, the more comments the better. And I've also got a kit to share with you, which will be sent to you for free if you place an order using my link, my special link that's in the video, which is below, I think it should be. So the kit that you'll get if you place a £25 or more order using the special host code or the link, is the materials to make all 6 of these cards, which I'll show you in a minute. You've got a little box with a little treat in. This week I've got these papers for free as well. I'm sending you some extra papers, so this is like a little bonus because we've still got Sale-a-Bration on, so we're still I've still got some of these papers to give out, so these will be in your kit and we'll be using these on our cards. And then you've got your 3 card kits with all the supplies you need to make 2 of each of the 3 cards, and envelopes too. So they are what I am going to send you for free with an order between until Sunday night. So you've got until Sunday 10 p.m. when I'll be closing this class's order. So that's the kit, and I'll show you the cards. So I'm going to turn me down because you don't want to be seeing my snotty face for much longer, more than you have to. So I'm sorry about if I do any kind of coughing or spluttering. I will try and keep that to a minimum. I've got a little bit of a cold this week, but we'll get through it. Let's switch me down, and these are the cards. So I've had so much fun working with the Sweet Citrus stamps this week. It actually comes with dies and an embossing folder. It works as a hybrid combo. Just find the embossing folder. So the dies actually work to cut and emboss at the same time. So you slot the die into the embossing folder, and then when you run that through, you get the texture on the die cuts. So you can just about see that. It's a really clever product. And I have had one of these hybrids before. It was a Christmassy one. I can't remember the name of it, Merriest Frames, which I absolutely love. But this has just been so amazing to work with. So that's the bundle that we're working with, and got the dies to cut out the little flowers and the leaves as well. You'll notice that the stamps are attached together. These 4 are attached and these 3 are attached, and that just means that you can stamp once and cut once, so it's a real time saver as well. I did think about performing some surgery on my stamps and cutting them up. I may still do that because I'm not too worried about doing that, because they can go back together on your block or on your stamp positioning tool absolutely fine. There's no problem with kind of attaching them back together when you want to stamp them as one. But I feel like I can be maybe more flexible individually, so you could kind of stamp a background maybe. Anyway, I'll think about that, and if I do it, I'll record it and show you the results. I know the thought of cutting up your stamps freaks out some people, so I don't want to kind of trigger any trauma just this morning. We'll leave that for another day. So I'm hopefully, if you're watching, please just let me know that the sound is on and that everything's kind of as it should be, and let me know where you're watching from. So what do we need to do first? Okay, the first thing is we're going to do some stamping. Now, I have done some stamping in advance of this, and I'll show you what you need. To make 2 of each of those cards, you need 2 lots or 2 stamps of the Granny Apple Green. And where's my Mango Melody? Did I put it back? Yes, I did. You need 2 lots in the Mango Melody, and you need 2 lots in the Calypso Coral with some Mango Melody, and I'll show you this kind of variegated look. I'll show you how to do that as well. So that's what you need for the 2 cards, and you need some leaves. So stamp some leaves in Granny Apple Green and then die cut them out. I've done 12, but you can do as many as you want, but I'd say do 12, start off with 12, and then you should that should be enough. So that's your stamping. So I will show you how I've done those, and then we'll just cut some out. Now, I have been using my Stamparatus, my stamp positioning tool. If you've got a Stamparatus, I recommend using that because it's the best way I found to do this stamping, because it's a 2-step stamp. So we stamp the kind of the skins of the fruit, and then we stamp the insides separately, so we can do 2 different colours, and just to line it all up perfectly, then this is great. So if you don't have that, you'll need a big acrylic block, big enough for this for the stamp to fit on, and this is an E size, so you'll need the E block instead. I've got a little bit of scrap paper as well. I'll show you that in a second. Right, so got some spare white card, and in your kit you will have some white card for stamping onto, and I've positioned these already so that this piece of card can go right in the corner, so I don't really need to use my magnets because it's always going to go right into the corner. Okay, and then I've got, let's do Mango Melody. So we'll do Mango Melody first. I'm just inking that up flat. And it does stick sometimes, so we'll just flip it off. And then I might just go and do another layer of that just to make it really nice and vibrant. And then we can go in with the innards of the fruit, and we can stamp it straight down, or we can use a scrap paper to stamp off so that we can use second generation to get a nice paler tone like that. So that's up to you if you do full strength or not full strength. Just realised I've stamped that in the wrong colour, I think. I can't tell if that's Daffodil Delight or Mango Melody. Anyway, this is the right one. So you can do the same with your Granny Apple Green. And I'll show you this Calypso Coral one here. So you'll need your stamp cleaner because you want to clean your stamp off each time. This is just the Stampin' Up stamp chamois. I've cut it in half though. Just find them easy to work with half size, and I can share them out easier in classes that way as well. Okay, so get another bit of card. Just make sure that's in the right place. It's a bit small, that bit. That's fine. Then use the Calypso Coral for the outer. And then Mango Melody for the inner. But before we stamp, I'm going to take my sponge dauber and pick up some of this Calypso Coral ink and dab it in the centre of the fruits. And then when I stamp, I'll get that two-tone effect. If you find you need some more, just go over it again. So if you want your Calypso Coral to be a bit darker, just add a little bit more, like that. So that works really well for any colours. So you can do multiple colours on your fruits or any stamp. So that's my stamping done. I can put that away. And then I'll just do some cutting. I've done some ahead of time just to save a bit of time. Well, I've done my limes. I've done some leaves, and you're going to get some of these flowers in your kits as well. They're I haven't stamped them. They're just die cut using these little dies. So you'll get some of them already. Let's cut these. So let me just find my die. So get your embossing folder. Let's put them away for now. And take your die and you find the section that it's supposed to fit in. So it's around these four shapes. And then if you wiggle it a bit, you'll find it just sort of slots into place. And then I've got some washi tape just to hold it down so that it doesn't move when I'm trying to position my stamped image. So here's my stamped image. Let's just use this one. I know this isn't perfect because I moved the card a little bit, so it's a little bit blurry, but it's okay. And then just find where it all fits. It's just taking me a while because my eyes aren't. I should have put my glasses on. There's my cut and emboss machine. Don't know if I'm a bit too zoomed in. I think I'm a little bit too zoomed in, but we'll do it anyway. So I'm working backwards here. So the fold of the embossing folder goes into the machine first. So I'm going towards me actually. And then I'm using the number 1 plate and the number 4 grey plate because it's a 3D folder. And this is what it does. We've got these lovely textured, coloured, fruity shapes that look really realistic. So much fun. So I'll do the Mango Melody ones as well while I'm here. And then I'll get the card kits out because I won't show you die cutting the leaves, if you can do that bit. So just line that up and roll it through. Oops. And then we can just take the die out because we don't need that anymore for today. And I'll pop these in with the other fruit, and then I've got everything I need, hopefully. There. Okay, card kits, because we will need to be doing some more embossing actually in a moment. Trying to be organised and keeping my desk clear, but it's hard because I'm just a messy crafter. We were having this discussion the other day with the team, and there's some people I know can craft and keep everything very neat and organised, and they prefer that. And then there's other people like me that just create carnage wherever they go. Okay. Right, we have then, let's do this one first. And that's this kit here. And we need to cut some paper strips. So these strips of paper. So if you grab some of your papers, I'm choosing 3. Let's do that one, and that one. And then you want to cut this into strips of, so the full length of this 6 inches, you want to cut them to, I think they're 2.5, let me just double check. Yeah, 2.5 centimetres. I'm going to stack them up and cut them together because I'm lazy. So I'm measuring here 2.5 centimetres, and for each card you probably need, we'll see how we get on with 6 strips for each card. That should be enough. And what you've got in here is, we've got a Mango Melody card base, and we've got a piece of basic white that measures 10 centimetres by 14.3. And then we've got a slightly smaller piece, which is 9.5 centimetres by 13.8. So that smaller bit is what we're sticking our strips onto. We've also got a piece of vellum, and this I think measures 7 centimetres by 11 centimetres. Got a little strip for stamping our greeting onto, and we have a a large circle and a large scallop circle. These have been cut using the layering circles dies. Okay, so we'll put those out of the way. Sticking our strips on then. You just need to make sure the full length of the strip covers the card. So just arrange it at any angle that you want to, and then get some glue on your card, stick it down. It'll overhang, but that's okay, and then glue the next one next to it. I'm leaving a little white gap. You don't have to. You can put your stripes up next to each other if you want to, if you prefer that. So just make sure that all the white around the edge is covered. There we go. Then once we've got a couple down, we can trim off, because we could probably use these spare bits. And that's probably not quite long enough, so we'll just get another one there. Just keep going until you've covered this panel, white panel. And just make sure that your white gap is as even as you can get it, just for neatness. There we go. And we've got just a tiny little corner to fill. There we go. It's normally best to leave it for a couple of minutes to let the glue dry before you chop, but you'll find it's easier to do it. And you could use a trimmer if you're not confident with snips. Get a neat edge. There we go. Get rid of all that. So that's your background. We can glue this onto the larger white rectangle, and that just gives it that little border, and then glue that onto the card front. There we go. So if you're watching live, or if you're watching me on replay later on, because I know there's quite a few of you that are working, but let me know you're watching, where you're watching from, whether you've got the sweet citrus set already or not. And what do you think of these papers? These are the Dandy Designs papers, and you get, I'll show you the pack. This is an unopened pack. It's massive. There's 48 sheets and it's 12 by 12, and there's 12 different designs, and you get 4 big sheets of each of these designs. They're so fun. They're bright, colourful. They're going to be useful on so many cards, and this stack is going to last for a long time. But you can't buy it. It's one of the Sale-a-Bration items, so it's free with a purchase of £90 or more. You can choose that for free if you want it. But it's worth about probably, I don't know, £40. Normal pack of papers usually about £11, and this is like 4 times that. So it's really excellent value. Right, what's next? Well, I can just stick this on. Now you can stamp a greeting straight on here, actually, if you prefer. I don't know, maybe this. Sending you a big squeeze. No, I'm going to stick with what I did before, and I'm going to stamp. This is a big block for this stamp, but I'm going to stamp onto that strip that's in the kit. It's just over 1 centimetre wide, about 1.2 centimetres, and it'll be long enough for you to trim down. So it depends on what sentiment you're using. So if you're using a sentiment from a different set, you may be able to fit one onto this circle, or you may just need a little bit of a strip for a smaller, kind of a straight greeting like this. So I've just done that, and I'm going to chop it in 2, and then I can arrange that on there. So let's get everything arranged on here. Arrange that in the centre, and then I'm going to stick this down with dimensionals onto the vellum. Then I can flip it over and just put glue on the back so it can't be seen. There we go. And we have our greeting, and we have some fruit. So I'm going to use, I'm going to use the same, just because I know I've got enough, but you can use whatever you want. And there we go. Got some oranges and limes, or lemons and limes, and we have a couple of, let's just put a couple of flowers. Now there's little stamps for the centres of the flowers in here, which you can use. They're tiny though, absolutely minuscule. I know I'm going to lose them. So I'm just going to stamp a little centre in those, but you could use a pen or you could use a gem. Right, I'll stick these down now with dimensionals. Got some little mini dimensionals which are good for these flowers. And then a bit of glue for the greeting. Oh yeah, some leaves. Let's put some leaves on. And then some gems. Now, I'm just going to be using these that I used from last week. but you can use any gems on here. Anything's just a little bit sparkly. There you go, that's card number 1. So I hope you like that. It's got a nice fresh bright background, and the fruits just sort of set it off. There you go. Then we move on to card number 2, which is this one. So the bits that we need are, we've got a Calypso Coral card base. We have a Mango Melody layer, which is 10 centimeters by 14.3. We have another Mango Melody panel, and this is 6.5 by, I think it's 11.5. Let me just check. By 11. By 10.5, sorry. 6.5 by 10.5. A smaller white panel, which is 6 by 10. And we've got a Calypso Coral strip for across the card, and that measures 10.5 by 6. And we've got a little die cut stitch circle. That's from the Stylish Shapes dies. That's those. We need to cut some of our designer series paper again. So for the background, this one here, we need to cut that down to 9 centimeters by 13.3. By 13.3, and then the bit going across, that will measure 6. No, let's do 10.5. It's 10.5 long by 5.5 wide. That's those done. So we can just get these bits glued for now. So that bit goes on here, and it has a border at the top and bottom, but not at the sides. It's the same length. And then I've cut that a bit small, but it's okay. So yeah, I recommend you cutting your DSP to 9.5 by 13.8. Unless you like the bigger border, doesn't really matter. But I can get those stuck on now anyway, and then we'll get onto the embossing bit. So they all get stuck on like that. Optional step is to emboss this white piece. So I've used the embossing folder and just emboss that like so. Let's just do that quickly now. There we go, and then that can be glued down. So if you want the kits to make these cards, but you don't have the Sweet Citrus bundle, because I don't provide anything stamped or die cut with the with these, you can always add that to your order to get this class kit for free, Or if you don't want to get this, and maybe you've got something similar that you can use, you can purchase something else, and you can use these card kits and work with another set. So I'm thinking like these card layouts would work with flowers, butterflies, birds, anything really. You can still make the same cards, but adapt them with your own choice of images. So you could still do that. Now, what was I looking for? Oh yes, what dimensionals? Stick that in the centre. Take some of our fruits. And some leaves. And stamp a greeting. So this one fits perfectly within this circle. I just love the font. It's like really fine. Okay. So dimensionals on the back of everything, just for more dimension. It's pretty obvious really. And you can arrange these however you like. Put some leaves in. And then just add some gems. Just like to add that extra little bit of sparkle. And that's card number 2. And then we're on to card number 3. I think we're getting quite speedy. I know I craft pretty quickly, and I just I can't seem to slow down. But at least you've got the replay to go back and rewatch bits and rewind and fast forward, and you can mute me. That's fine as well. You can do all of that on the replay. So hopefully that'll be better for you to kind of recreate the projects that way. Right, this one is a bit of a kind of different fold. It's like a split front card. I don't know what it's called. I think that might be just what it's called. And we've got some partial embossing going on the inside as well. So this is that card, and this card base is a 10-fold card base instead. So it's just been cut and scored in the opposite direction to a standard card base. So I took the full length of A4, cut it in half lengthways at 10.5 centimetres, and then it's scored in half at 14.85 centimetres, and that creates this 10-fold card, which we're actually using sideways like that. So I just need to cut a section out of the front of this card, and I am taking, and let me just make sure I remember what I've done. So I'm putting my card in so that it's lengthways in the trimmer. Then I'm lining this right hand edge up with 5.5 centimeters, and then I'm just going to cut down just to the fold line. And it's good because your trimmer blade has a little notch just right in the center where the blade is, so you can actually just line this line up with your score line like that, and then you can pop the fold into the groove of the trimmer and just cut down to your cut line like that. If you go carefully and steady, you shouldn't have a problem, but just use scissors on that bit if you're worried. I just got to trim just a little bit off there. So you've got, that's your card base, and then you've got a piece of Mango Melody, and that's for the inside, and that measures 10 centimeters by 14.3. Again, glue that in, and then piece for the front, and this measures 5 centimeters by 10. And it's missing a piece of white. So I'll just cut that down. There's a piece of white for the inside. And that's 9 centimeters by 13.8. We're going to partially emboss that in a moment. And then for the front, we just, excuse me, we need to cut a piece of our designer series paper. So I've chosen this green one, and we need to cut that down to 4.5 centimeters by, what did I say? 9.5, no, 9.5, yep. 9.5, no, not 9.5. I've definitely got cold brain. Right, we need the full length, so we need it to be 4.5 by 13.8. Yes, that's right. We'll just delete that bit. Okay, then we can stick that down. Okay, for the embossing then, you can pop your card in with some hanging out just to emboss the edge. So I'm going to have it sticking out that way. So you want to do probably about over half, maybe 2/3, and that way it will still fit within the cut and emboss machine without overhanging the platform. Let's just test that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, just done that, and it's just done the top bit, and then it leaves a little bit of a plain bit that you can write your message in. Okay, and then we can stick that down. Excuse me. And now we just fill it up with fruit. And the only reason I'm not varying it up is because I'm not feeling very creative today. I'm just going to copy what I've done before, and then it's a lot easier. See, that doesn't look like a fruit, so I'm not going to use that one. And there we go. Let's do that. And then just use dimensionals, but make sure that you don't put any dimensionals or adhesive above the line of this card, because you don't want to seal it shut. Just place them on place your adhesives on the lower half. Just make sure there's nothing poking through. Yeah, that's fine. And just get as many as you want on. And then some leaves as well. I'm just going to glue these. In fact, I'm just going to carefully glue them to the backs of the fruit. Might cut this one up actually, just to have a single one. And then some flowers as well actually will look nice. So I think I'll use mini dimensionals for these. So to get the card kit for free, as I said, it's a £25 or more order. But if your order's over 25, don't forget the Sale-a-Bration offer is still on. That's for every £45 you get to pick a Sale-a-Bration item. But also my added gift will be, if it's over 45, you'll get a free pack of embellishments. So that won't they'll either be these or they'll be the iridescent rhinestones. And what I'll do is, if you order, I'll send you a message and just ask you which you prefer, and I'll just send you your choice. Then I'll be posting the kits out on Monday at the latest. So if you put your order in today, I can get it in the post tomorrow. And if you order Sunday night, I'll get it in the post Monday. So there's my gems, and then I just need a greeting. So again, I'm using a strip, and let's do have a zesty birthday. Oh, I'll also be sending an email reminder out about it's the last 4 days. I think we've got 5 days. The last 5 days of the join offer as well. So if if you want to save over £70 on your craft supplies, you can put your order through on a starter kit order before Tuesday evening, and you're going to get to choose £71 worth of stuff for free. Basically, the starter kit offer is £99, and you get to choose £170 worth of product of your choice, anything current, including some of the pre-order items that only demonstrators can get this month, that will be released next month, including items in this clearance rack. So if you've seen some bargains in there, you can add them in to your starter kit order. You can add stuff like the more expensive items like the cut and emboss machine or the Stamparatus. I know that's what a couple of my new team members have done. They wanted to save a load of money on those big items, and that's how they've done it. They've joined my team. More the merrier. I'd love to have you join. So message me if you want any more information about that, although I think a lot of it is on my website and on Stampin' Up website, but it is really the best deal with no catch whatsoever, and I just want to save you some money. Hi Claire. My first comment. Oh, thanks Claire. Nice to see you. I tell you, once you start playing with something and the ideas start rolling, you can usually come up with many different ways to use a set that you just didn't think of when you saw it in the catalogue. It's just a really stunning one to work with. So my next week's choice, I think you've probably, if you've followed me on social media, you've probably guessed which one has been voted for, because I asked for your help to decide. But I'll announce that on Sunday night's Facebook Live. I may be going down to Cornwall. I'll find out later today if I'm going to be in Cornwall. In which case I have a lot of packing to do. I feel like I don't want to leave anything behind. So you can see all of my craft room behind me. I'll switch over. How am I going to get all that down in the car? I'll have to be very clever about packing and working out what I'm going to take with me. So that's going to be the trick for the next couple of days, is to get that all worked out, what I'm going to be making next week. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I just have another couple of things to tell you about, and that is my my card club. I'm taking more registrations for new members for my March card club. We're using the Share a Milkshake sweet bundle. Sorry, I don't know what I'm showing you here. I can't wait to start playing with this one. We're using that, and you're going to get a lovely box full of goodies and materials to make 8 projects. You'll get invited to a class which you can join online on Zoom, or you can come to my house here and make the projects with me, or you can just take the videos and the PDF tutorials and just craft in your own time if you prefer to do that. It's £27 a month plus postage, and you're going to get such a nice little parcel arriving through your door each month, with all the stuff that you need to make lots of cards. And you will also have the option to add on the stamp set or the bundle that we're using with a discount as well. So it's a really great value way to build up your supplies just little bit by little bit, without being overwhelmed. And actually, using the stuff that you buy straight away as well, and giving you lots of ideas. So that's my card club. It is one. I've been going for 1 year with that next month, which I'm really excited about. It is going really well, and I'd love to have some new members join me for that as well. So there'll be an email going out about that, and then I've mentioned the join offer. If you want some freebies, some free Stampin' Up stuff, or a really kind of good deal on your order, if your wish list is big, then it's a no-brainer to put your starter kit order in. If you do it before end of Tuesday, so end of the month, then you're going to get even more in your starter kit because the offer's so good. So yeah, that's all I have to tell you. So thank you for watching. I'll be looking out for your orders and getting those kits packed up for you and prepped. So thank you again. Have a brilliant weekend, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye everyone.